Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to do a little video. There's been a lot of people, just kind of a really big freak out of everything going on with coronavirus and illnesses and everything, canceling stuff. They've canceled school statewide here in Kentucky for the next month. So with that being said, we've got a lot of people who are going to be staying in their homes, and let me just say, basically the shelves, as in everywhere else, are bare from toilet paper and things of that sort. And I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard that a lot of the things like for babies, diapers, wipes, stuff like that is being acquired as well. So I just wanted to pop on here and cover some essentials, like my top 10 things that I would stockpile, and I do stockpile, as far as food, household, let's see, for babies, medicines, and for your own personal hygiene. Because let's face it, if you're going to be up and cooped up for a while, there's going to be some things you need, and you should already have a stockpile of. First things first, I want to just say that there's things you can go ahead and do before an emergency happens, like going ahead and learning to cook from scratch instead of learning how to cook just things out of a can. I mean, it's great to know how to, do the just add water and things like that, but sometimes that stuff only lasts for so long. But really, it's good to have that kind of thing, but you also have to look at the fact that you need to get things that are going to be more nutritious for you, especially if you're having to stay in, and depending on the conditions of your weather, or whatever your, whatever the actual reason is that you are having to stay in your home, you need to be equipped with what you need. So go ahead and, when you're stocking up, start getting into the role of rotating food, because food does go bad. Even if it's shelf stable, there's like canned foods, you need to rotate them, set them up so that they're rotated, and you're using the oldest first, if it's not able to be rotated. Let's see, take a class in first aid and CPR. Guys, it does not hurt you. It's a scary thing to have to think that you would have to do that to someone or for someone, but I'm just gonna say you're gonna be thankful for the fact that you can if you need to. There's no worse feeling than feeling like you couldn't do anything at all. And I'm coming at you from a EMS responder, from an EMT who has done things, I've been on both sides of it. As a BLS provider, you can only go so far and give people so much, and then sometimes you have to have a paramedic. If that paramedic's not available, you can only do so much, and you still feel like crap if you can't do more than what you know that they need. So go ahead and get prepared there. And honestly, get a survival guide. I know you see a lot of people who, are like preppers, and I mean preppers, not just having a little bit of a stockpile, but I mean they're prepping for the world to end, underground bomb shelter, all of that. I mean, that's not where I'm going at. I am coming to you with like a short-term, it could be weather related, illness related, however, could be a natural disaster, but not, not like a huge kind of weaponized type deal, not a nuclear disaster type deal. But anyways, so let's just go ahead and get started. So for my top 10 foods, these are not things that you normally would do. So this is why I'm saying you need to learn how to cook. Number 1, beans. If they're dried beans, that's great. They're shelf stable. They can last a very long time. You can put them in an airtight container, just like with rice, same thing. You can also get canned beans if you're not wanting to go through the whole process of soaking the beans and, you know, doing all that before you cook them. You can get canned beans, and just like I said, make sure you rotate them. Make sure you rinse them off and stuff, because they kind of get ooey and gooey, you know. But their beans are a great protein holder. And then like your rice, that's a great carb. You know, you have to keep that stuff up. Oats, flour, and sugar, especially if you're going to be cooking from scratch, or you need to cook from scratch. Those are things you need. Meat. You can stock up on meat throughout the year. They have sales. You can go in half with a friend on a cow, deer hunting, any kind of hunting that you will get meat from. That's something I am not. I know how to hunt. I know how to skin a deer. I know how to, I know how to field dress an animal and harvest for food. I've never went hunting, but if I needed to, I could. So these are all skills you can learn. If you have a friend who hunts, get with them and have them show you how to field dress that animal. And you know, you can stock up really well, and meat does last a very long time in the freezer. You can also can meat. You can dry it. You can make some chicken turkey if you need to. I mean, they have turkey jerky, they have beef jerky, they have deer jerky. Make some chicken turkey. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is a good source of protein as well. If you have a peanut allergy, you would definitely need to do something different. If you can eat something like a different kind of nut, I'm not really sure how that works. Some people can't eat peanut butter, but they can eat other kind of nuts. You know, I work in EMS, and I don't know. I don't get it. Anyways, so you could do chickpeas and mash those up. I've seen a lot of people, like, you know, mashing up, I mean, you can do avocado if they'll eat avocado. Just something like that. Do some kind of spread, jams, something, as long as it's canned and it will last a while, you can use it. Alright, potatoes and onions. Those things, they will last forever. And let me tell you a secret. So, when I was younger, my mom and dad, I grew up on a farm. We gardened, we farmed, we harvested. 5 acres of potatoes. Just potatoes. You know how many potatoes that is? It's a lot. So, we have this part of my mom and dad's house where it goes under, you can go under, it's a crawl space, and it's dirt. It's not a basement, it's not cemented or anything, it's dirt. And you can store potatoes in there. You can store potatoes underground as long as it's a cool area, and they will last like freaking forever. Like next year almost. As long as it stays cool and dry and, you know, things like that. They might sprout a little, which that's okay. And, you know, it just, heck, I don't know. So, then you've got rice, like I said before. It's a dry good, it's shelf stable, and you can, you know, it's a good carb. Produce, like veggies, you can get frozen. you can get canned. I would probably get a variety of both, depending though on what type of event you're worried about. If you're prone to losing your electric, you might want to go more for canned, and just be able to, you know, rinse the extra salt and stuff off and things like that. I mean, you don't have to rinse it, but if you're worried about salt content, then, you know, that's one of those things you can do. Pasta, that's a good carb. You can make a ton of things out of pasta. And then you can also get shelf-stable milks. You can get evaporated milk, powdered milk, condensed milk, and you can make some good, you know, meals out of it. If you needed to, you could add milk or add water with the evaporated milk and make some actual milk to drink, like what you would drink from the fridge. That's a quick way of doing it, but that's a quick way of doing that. And then finally, spices. If you're gonna be eating this stuff, it's gonna get bland real quick, especially if you're eating it for like 2 weeks or something, you know, you can't get out and things like that. Yeah, I have about 3 minutes left. So when we were growing up, it was 1994, I think, 93, 94. We had a huge ice storm. We had snow and we had ice. The snow wasn't too bad, but the ice, like, basically closed down everything for a month. We couldn't get out. We couldn't get in unless you walked. I was 4 years old and my brother would have been 6. And I remember, you know, walking out with my dad and everything. And, you know, for our meals, because we didn't have electric, we had to, we cooked on this little fireplace. We had a fireplace and my dad had a cast iron skillet. And all of our meals were cooked in that cast iron skillet and things like that. So you could actually take soups and make them now and actually can them for later. It's just like the process that it takes for people to do chili beans for hot dogs, or like the, what is it, the baked beans, Bush's baked beans, like that. I mean, that's all they do. They cook it and then they can it in cans, and then you take it, open it up, cook it, and it's ready to eat. So I'm just gonna say, get with an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent that's still alive, if hopefully they are. I lost mine about 9 years ago, and fortunately from both of them I learned a good amount of skills. I learned canning, harvesting, things like that from my grandmother and my mom and dad. And you know, that's the best thing that's some of the best things that they've taught me. So I will go ahead and end this one, but that was my top 10 food items that I would keep. Make them shelf stable, learn how to cook from scratch, go ahead and plan ahead and can things, canned soups, canned meat, canned veggies. Make it easy on yourself. You can freeze stuff too, but just remember, if you lose electric, you're gonna have to be able to keep stuff cold. Now, if it does snow and it's staying cold, you can put that stuff in the snow and bury it to keep it cold. Don't forget that. Alright, I'm gonna end this one. Next up is household, then I'll have baby and like personal stuff too. Medicines, first aid, things like that. Alright, see you in the next one, guys.